See conspiracy theories pop up, I mean, in the wake of tragedies like this. Is that people, can't wrap their mind around something, why this would happen, or is it just simply linked to the whole idea that these are people who believe the government's trying to take their guns, and this is just a way that they're trying to take guns? Conspiracy theories are explanations for evil, and generally speaking, people hate the idea of random evil. They like the idea that evil is focused in some avowed people, whether it's whether it's Jews or Muslims or Illuminati or Freemasons or the New World Order. They love the idea that there's one central address for all the evil that is afflicting a country, causing terrorism, causing mass shootings. And they're strangely attracted to that idea because once they've identified people, somehow they find it in exposure. Here's the thing, I mean, Alex, I find idiotic about a lot of conspiracy theories is, nothing remains secret for very long. So it's not as if, the government can't keep, things that are actually classified information secret for very long. There's so many people who leak stuff. So the idea that somehow, like, the news media is in cahoots with the government and that there were secret meetings to hire crisis actors to get them there, it's just so ludicrous. Did you notice was there a common strain when you were looking into these conspiracy theories regarding Sandy Hook? Yeah, there absolutely is. At least the vast majority of them. And there's different variations, whether it was directly an Obama administration plot or agents, loosely tied with the liberal movement or even George Soros. The common thread on all of these is that the tragedy was a false flag operation in order to make the country willing to give up their guns. So, in other words, this tragedy would happen, and then we would have a discussion about gun control, as we are now, and then it would lay the groundwork for the government to come and take guns, possibly for some kind of future, tyrannical regime. Jonathan, I guess the internet has kind of allowed all of this stuff to kind of ignite in a way that it never has before. There have always been conspiracy theories that goes back for very long. This has just allowed more isolated people to find each other. Yeah, absolutely. One of the chapters in my book, I talk about how the internet has turbocharged the conspiracy theory movement because the big challenge for conspiracy theorists used to be getting the word in because respectable journalists would press their stories. But now, conspiracy theorists, usually they don't even bother trying to go to the mainstream media. They just publish it on their website, and they can create their own little echo chambers of paranoid individuals who all share the same distrust. And by the way, just to correct something, it is true that the majority of the same conspiracy theories revolve around the idea of gun control. But there is a large contingent that believe that this was somehow an Israeli falsified operation. Press TV, which is a moderating and control battle. Why would the Israelis, how do the Israelis get involved in this? Well, it is a bad operation, and it's still people who believe that Anders Breivik is actually secretly somehow a bad agent.
Can you go back to the border so I can keep it to
They're evildoers, they think it's the Jews, they think it's Israel, and so they find some way to trace any evil act, whether it's 9/11, whether it's the 2008 financial crisis, they find some way to believe that all the evil was caused by this one group of actors that they hate. And you divide conspiracy theories into kind of two camps, Cranes and Firebrand. What's the difference? Well, the Firebrand tends to be the young folks. The ones that you see was sometimes 9/11 on the anniversary, you'll see these people marching in the so-called 9/11 truth movement. They tend to be young people. You often see them around university campuses. Cranes tend to be older types. People in their 40s and 50s. Often they're college professors. Often they're computer scientists. Often people with a very technical frame of mind who are drawn to these very restricted conspiracy theories. They're almost always banned for reasons that I explain in my book. And often these very mild-mannered individuals.
Can you go through the portal so I can get out of here?
Conspiracy movement was a teacher, a professor in California named David Great Griffin. Very mild-mannered professor guy who's actually a theologian. And these people are drawn to the movement. Usually they're very intelligent and they love the idea that they're unraveling some huge puzzle, and they'll get to the source of all the world's evil. It's just unbelievable to me. Jonathan Kay, I appreciate it, and Alex Waltz, thank you very much. Actually, joining us right now, just called in, is Erica Lafferty, who's the daughter of Dawn Huxburn, the Sandy Hook principal who was killed in this shooting. I assume you were watching our broadcast. What did you want to say?
It's just kind of amusing to me, honestly. I was looking for a video online, I think it was last night actually, And I found a 10-minute YouTube video about some actress that they were saying, like, played my mom in the shootings, and he was, like photoshopping, like an arm full of sunglass band on her head and saying, like, the crease from her hair matched the actress's sunglass crease, which is crazy because my mom had short hair. She hadn't had long hair in, I don't know, almost a year, probably actually more than a year at that point. So just their lack of information that they're putting into this, like, create this conspiracy theory, like, it's not even accurate information that he's using to formulate it. It's ridiculous.
The idea, and again, we wouldn't normally even kind of discuss these kind of conspiracy theories or give them airtime on this program, and we're not naming these websites because I really don't want to increase their traffic, but the fact that an associate professor from a university is saying that, you know, or suggesting, kind of throwing out the idea that maybe crisis actors were somehow hired to, I'm not even sure to do what. I mean, does that, when you hear that, that's coming from an associate professor, Erica, what do you think?
I think it's a disgrace to the community of educators worldwide that someone would belittle the entire situation, belittle the 26 families, belittle the, of course, the staff members that had to live through that day. It's honestly just disgusting to me.
It is, I mean, do you think the university should do something, or do you think it's just, you know, people should know about it and move on?
I briefly saw it. I think it was someone who was from the university saying that, you know, it didn't have any affiliation with them, and, you know, hearing them speak out and say that they're absolutely not supporting it is good to hear, but, I mean, to have someone like that on staff, I know the university I work for definitely wouldn't tolerate that.
Well, Erica, I'm sorry that, you know, coming up on the 1 month anniversary, I know how difficult anniversaries are, that you and other family members have to even, you know, hear about this kind of stuff and deal with this kind of stuff, and I appreciate you taking the time to call, and I wish you the peace. I wish you the best.
Thank you very much, and thank you for voicing the truth.
Thank you, Erica. Appreciate it. Erica Lafferty, daughter of Don Huxburn, who is the school principal at Sandy Hook. Let's know what you think. On Twitter, we're talking about this. I tweeted about this earlier. Addie Anderson Cooper. I mean, do you think this guy should free speech, or should the university do something? Let us know what you think. And again, our invitation stands to this associate professor.
Is you there?
We're doing a fair hearing. We'd like to have him on the program.
Are you there?
Up next, is there a link between gun violence and violent video games? It's an old question, been around. We're going to actually look at the research and talk to a former top FBI profiler when we come back. Keep them on.
Anderson Cooper 360, brought to you by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of today's complex global economy. Invest with confidence.
How could a luminous protein in jellyfish impact life expectancy in the U.S., real estate in Hong Kong, and the optics industry in Germany? At T. Rowe Price, we understand the connections of a complex global economy. It's just one reason over 75% of our mutual funds beat their 10-year liver average. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a prospectus or summary prospectus with investment information, risks, fees, and expenses to read and consider carefully before investing.
Barack Obama is a poster child for what America stands for. And I want the Republicans to come back. I don't. I want them to stay out. No one can argue that we're in a better place than we were 4 years ago. Just can't argue that. These are facts. I find this to be outrageous. You think it's about new people. It's about new ideas. Fact check. I know you hate facts.
Real Time with Bill Maher premieres January 18th at 10, 9 Central, only on HBO.
What else have you done for us besides Bin Laden?
I've done nothing else. The big breaks and the little people that make it happen. A lot of my friends have died trying to do this. I believe I was very lucky to finish the job.
Rated R, now playing everywhere.
So, we all set?
I've got 2 tickets to paradise. Not your bags will be tonight.
That's next month, actually.
Paradise.
Well, 4, remember?
I don't care.
All right, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy. And how happy are they, Jimmy? Happier than any money or any travel agency.
Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Hey, happy birthday! Let's take a picture. Come on, just one smile.
You still spelled it wrong, but okay.
Galaxy Note 2. Be creative.
Keep in mind now, the notion that gun violence is more to do with video game weapons than real ones. Vice President Biden representatives from the video gaming industry. The new Ken killer was reportedly set to violent games, as other killers have been, of course. And people are concerned that bloody games, gory movies, brutal TV shows are doing bad things for kids. So you can see why culture would be part of the conversation about preventing another Sandy Hook. Now, pro or anti-gun, Republican or Democrat, a lot of people do agree on that. People
Vicious, violent video games with names like Bulletstorm, Grand Theft Auto, Mortal Kombat, and Splatterhouse.
The violence in the entertainment culture. What about the violence in our video games? The depiction of lethal weapons again and again.
violence, the realism that you find in games and movies,
The corrosive influence of a violent-oriented world.
you get the idea. Now, keep in mind, though, there's not a lot of good science behind it because of that. Different studies have reached different conclusions. Two headlines, comprehensive reviews of all the available research tell the story. First, from Iowa State University, quote, ISU study proves conclusively that violent video game play makes more aggressive kids. Now, here's one from the technology news site Ars Technica. Quote, meta-analysis uncovered no real link between violence and games. Two headlines, two reputable research psychologists, each looking at many individual studies and arriving at totally opposite conclusions.
You want to come with me to put the ender pearls in the ender pearl portal?
Plummeting. That's according to Centers for Disease Control.
You want to come with me to put the ender pearls in the ender portal?
Big sales of violent games.
We have 3 this time.
Of violent
2 from your ender chest,
given all that,
and 1
is
was...
focusing on links between
Yeah.
violent
Is it enough
games, bad actors, even useful, and if so, under what
I had one. I'm going to put him up if you TP to me to help me get defense.
That's like I'll just stay.
Dangerous instinct, use an FBI profiler's tactics to avoid unsafe.
If I die, it's on
So,
YouTube.
Marilyn, you actually think there is a link between
Could you
violent
refuse to
games
help me?
and violence?
Oh, it's dangerous there?
I do. For a
Hold on, I gotta do something.
troubled adolescents or young men, in my experience with these kinds of cases and in my research as an FBI profiler, I have found that there's not a cause and effect. They did not cause violence, but for these young people who are already contemplating carrying out acts of violence or acting out towards others in a violent way, these videos